Hello guys, it is Shivam here. Welcome to lecture 2 of our awesome Python series where we are going to learn a complete Python from scratch. So on this Python series, I'm going to cover data types, operators, list, different types of loops, functions, arrays and many more. So do not forget to hit that like button and let's keep the like aim on this video of 500 likes. I know you will definitely do that, and also do not forget to hit that subscribe button so that you won't miss out on any of the upcoming videos we upload on this awesome Python series. Now let's get started. So in our last part, or you can say the first part of our Python series, I have taught you about different data types. We have covered about variables and how to use data types in your programming language. Now, this is a second part of this Python series. So if you haven't followed the last part, I will paste a complete playlist link in the comment box. You can simply click to that link and can follow this complete Python series for beginners. Now, on our today's video, I am going to teach you about a strings. Though we have already covered a string in a last part, but that was just I will say 5 to 10% of the string. But in our today's video, we will learn a string in more detail, like how to use a string and how the string can simply make your work very easy by providing many of the different functions in this data type. Yeah, so here you can see that we have moved to the Python strings in our W3 school website. Yeah, so let me revise what really string is. So string is something that indicate in a double inverted comma. So here you can see that it has written a hello text and it is shown in the double inverted comma. So now it will act as a string. Yeah, now you can see that I'm telling double inverted comma is because, so when you write a coding language, mainly the developers show the string with a double inverted comma. But if you want to show the string with a single inverted comma, it will also act as a string. So there is no difference when you will use a double inverted comma and a single inverted comma. Yeah, so both the thing will act as a string. So I've told you how the string works and what really string is. Now here you can see that I have wrote one string. So let's move to the VS Code first. So here I will take one variable name A and will write here Shivam, like Shivam. So here I have wrote one string name which is Shivam and I have stored that string in the variable A. Yeah. Now here you can see that in this string name Shivam, I want to simply print a letter I. Now you will think that how to print a letter I on this string name Shivam. So it is very easy. Now we need to simply use a print function over here, and here in the bracket I will use the variable where I have stored the string. So I will write A and will use a square bracket. Now in this square bracket I will simply write a position of my letter that I want to simply print on that string. I think so you are not getting what I'm trying to tell. So let me explain you in more detail. So for an example, here is a string name Shivam. So in the string name Shivam, the first word starts with 0. So keep in mind, when you are writing a string, the string will be simply act as an like. The first letter will be indicated by an Python as an 0. Now the second letter will act as an 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the length of this string will be 5. Now you will think that there are 6 letters, then how I am telling that the length of this string will be 5? But here you will see that the first letter on a string starts with 0, so it will act as in 0, 1, 2. So if you think that I will write 1, 2, 3 I mean 3 over here to print an I. So if I'll write 3 and will simply print an output, let me print the output over here. So you will see that we have got V, not I. So you can see that in the string, the first letter starts with 0, 1 and 2. So we need to write a 2 over here to print a I. Yeah. So this is how you can see that we can simply print a letter in a word. And this is how the Python works and how they keep an number of each letter in a string, right? I think so you are getting what I'm trying to explain. Now, for an example, if I want to print S over here, so I will write 0 and will simply run this. And here you can see that we have got our first letter, which is S. Now, if I want to print M, so if you want to print a last word of any string, then you can do one thing. You can simply use a length over here and you can write a and you will write -1. Yeah. So let me print and show you the output. Here you can see the 5. Yeah. Now I can use a square bracket over here and will write our variable name a over here, something like this. Yeah, something like this. Now there is a code where you need to simply print a last word of a string. So you will think that first take a length of this string. So in the length a, it will simply pass a length like 6. It will simply count a length of this string from 1 2 3 4 5 6. So here it will simply pass a 6, but I need to get a last word. So you will think that the first string starts from 0, then we need to simply decrease one string so that I can get a last string, right? Because the length of M is 5 according to the Python language, but we are getting a length over here is 6. So I can't simply pass a 6 over here to get a last letter of this string. So I need to simply decrease by 1 and here I will get a result. What? I will get a result 5, and through the a variable I can simply get M. Now let me run this and show you the output. So here you can see the M. Now you can see that without passing any number, I can simply print a last letter of this string named Shiva. Yeah, I think so. Now you are clear. But if you have any questions regarding this, you can simply write in a comment box. I will try to explain you one more time in my next video. So after this, for an example, there will be a question like to print a second last word of a string. So what you will do, you will simply change 1 to 2 and now you will run an output and you will get a second last letter of a string. Yeah. So this is how you can simply use a length of an string and can print a letter according to the your wish. Yeah, so now I think so you are getting what I'm trying to explain. Keep on mind, when you are writing a length a, it will simply give me the length of an string. It will start from 1, but if you are going to print a letter on that string, the Python language will take the first letter as in 0 and it will simply count 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So now it is done. Now let's move. And here I will tell you the use of looping. I don't want to cover this now because there is a thing named for loop. So I will explain you for loop in this part, or I think so in the coming parts, and then I will explain you how to print a string by using a for loop. Yeah. Now here I've already explained you the string length, like how to get a length of a string. So let me take one more case, like, so let me write here hello Shivam. Now I want to print a length of this string, so I will simply write length and will write an a. Yeah. So now I am waiting for your output, like what you are thinking. If you are thinking that I will get an output 11, then sorry, you are wrong, because here the space you can see in between these two word hello and Shivam will be count as one. So in the strings, or you can say in when you are writing a sentence, the space is also count as a number in a string. So keep in mind, like if you are thinking that the output I will get while writing this two words and with a space 11, then you are wrong, because the result will be 12. So let me print this, and here you can see the result 12 that I was telling you about. Now here I will write hello Shivam, how are you? Yeah. So now you will think that what output we will get. So here it was up to 12, so it will act a space 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and it will also count a question mark with a string. So we'll get an output 25. So here you can see that it will simply count a space when you are printing the length of a string. So keep in mind, it the space will also count as a number in the string. So I hope this is clear. So now let's move with a slicing string. So the words itself says slicing. Now you will think that what really slicing means over here and what is slicing string. So the word itself says that it simply give you a slice of an string in a string. I think so that is complex for you to understand. So let me tell you in a simple way. So for an example, let's move, and here I will simply create one variable which will be a, and now in this variable I'm going to store a string. For an example, I will just take a string name which will be hello. Now I will show you how to simply create a slice with the help of slicing string by using the hello string. Now I'm going to print a slice like ELL. So it will be go from 0, 1, 2, 3. So you will think that now to print a slice of string, I need to simply write like this print, and will use a print function, and here I will simply write a variable name which is a. Now I want to simply print a slice from ELL, so it will be like 0, 1. So it is 1, so I will simply write 1 and will use a colon, and up to where. So it is like from where you want to print a slice of a string. So I simply tell that I want to print from 1, which is 0, 1, now up to L. So it will be 0, 1, 2, 3. Now if you think that you will write just 3 over here and you will get a result ELL, then you are wrong, because it will simply print that. Let me show you the output first, and here you can see the output just EL, not ELL. Now there will be one big question mark in your mind, and you will think that we have started from 0, 1, 2, 3, so we need to also print up to double L. So why it's only print a single L? The reason is that because in the slicing string, when you are writing a second number from like up to where you want to print a string, then you need to simply add 1. I think so you are getting what I'm trying to explain. So for an example, like 0, 1, 2, 3, so you need to simply write up to 4, then it will be going to print like 1, 2, 3, because the 4 number is not included while printing the slicing string. It will simply print from 1, 2, 3. So make sure it will act like a first number, like from where to print, and the second number will be like up to how much you want to print. and the number you are writing over here will not be included. You need to simply write 3 plus 1 or a number up to where you want to print a string plus 1. So you need to write 1 is to 4. Yeah, so for an example, if I want to simply print ELLO, now you will think that 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you will write just 4, then exactly you will get up to ELL. But as I've told you, you need to print up to 4, then you need to write 4 plus 1, which will be 5. Now when you will print it, it will simply show the output ELLO. So this is a main concept of a slicing string. So keep on mind how to write a slicing string. Like, you need to simply write a second number after colon with a plus 1. So to print the word hello, I need to simply write 0, 1. So I've wrote 0 for E, H. Yeah, now 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I need to print up to 5. So here I need to simply write 5, and we'll simply rerun this, and you can see that we can simply get a string name hello over here. So this is how we can simply print a slice of a string by using a slicing string. Yeah. So if I want to simply print Shivam over here, so I will start from what? From 6, and will go up to like 7, 7, 8, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I will go up to 11 and will simply, sorry, up to 12, and will simply print this. So here we get a string name Shivam. So here the total string is 12. So I need to go up to the last string. So here I wrote 12 because space is also count as a string that I've told you now. So here it is, and we can simply print a slice of a string. So here it is done. Now let's move with a slice from start. So you can also print like this. Like if you want to print an hello, just an hello. So rather than writing a 2 case, you can simply print like up to 5, and when you will run this, you can also get a string like hello. So you don't need to write here, it will act as a 0 over here. So you can also use colon 5, and if you want to print a complete string, write colon 12, and it will simply output a complete string. So it will act as in simply 0 rather than showing a 0 over here. Yeah, so here it is done. Now let's move forward, and there are some more functions on the string to make your work easy. Now for an example, here I wrote just like hello, and here I want to simply print this string in the uppercase, or you can say a bold letters. Then you can simply print like, now a dot upper, and you need to use a bracket, and when you will print this, you will simply get an word in the capital letters. So this will simply change all the letters on this string to an uppercase, or you can say in a capital letters. Now if you want to reverse this, like in the lower case, or you can say small letters, you will need to simply pass lower, and it will simply lower down all the letters in this string in the lower case, or you can say a small letters. So this is how you can use a small letters and the capital letters. So here it is uppercase and the lower case, as you can see. Now if you want to remove a white space, so for an example, if there is some space before a string, and like this is a dead space, or you can say unknowing space, and if you want to remove this space, like for an example, this is to dead space, and you think that there is a dead space in this string, you can simply remove that by using a dot strip. So here I will use a strip, and like this, and will print this, and here it will remove that unknowing space from a string. And you will see a fourth thing, which is replace string. So it will simply replace a letter on the string. So here you can see H, and you need to simply pass a dot replace H with J. So it will simply print a J over here, and it will simply replace that letter with a string that I want to show over there. So here I will use something like this, a dot replace, and I want to replace a word h with what, with s. So here I will use s and will simply print this. So here you can see that it simply changed from hello to cello. Yeah, so here it is, and we can simply replace a letter on a string by using a dot replace. So these are the some of the special functions in the string that will really help you in future to make your programming language really simple. Yeah. So now you can also split a two string with, like, for an example, if I have wrote this hello world. Yeah, so for an example, if there is comma in between and here I want to write hello world, but I want to get these two strings from a single string, but I don't need this comma over here. So you need to simply, so first I need to write a variable name. So I will write a dot split and will simply split it this string from comma. So I will simply pass a comma over here, but in a double inverted commas. Yeah, something like this. So it will simply tell that split these two words from a comma. So when I'll print this, you will see that here I got a two string hello and a world in the form of list. So this is a list. So you know that what is list, I have explained you in the last part, and here you can see that there is also a space which is also have been shown over here, something like this, and it simply splits a two string like hello and world from comma. So here we have used a comma, something like this. Now if I will use a space and will print this, you can see that it simply print like hello over here, something like this, and it's tell that split this two string from a space. So this is a first string that have been shown over here, and this is the second string that have been shown over here. So now you can see that there is no space showing over here. So this is how the split function works. So it is done. Now let's move to the concatenation of two strings, or you can say you can simply combine a two string together. I have shown you in the last part, and here you can see that if there are two string like hello world, you can simply add these two strings by using a plus b. If you want to simply print this without storing, you can simply pass a plus b over here. So it is easy. So there are lots of string methods that you can see on this website. So there are lots of methods that like ends with, like count. So it will simply check that this string has been found over here or not. So these are lots of important string that you can use, and you can get to know lot of things regarding a string. So here you can see that here, let me show the first thing, like it starts with. So for an example, if I want to check that if the hello world string starts with s or not. So for an example, if I will write like if a dot starts with s, so it will check that if this string starts with a letter s or not. So it will simply show the output false over here. So because it won't start with letter s. So if I'll write h over here and will simply print the output, will get true because it starts from h. Now here comes one more thing, like ends with. So here are reverse of s. So reverse of start with is ends with. So it will simply check that if the letter starts with a letter d or not. So it ends with letter d. So that's why we are getting a result true over here. So this is how a string can help you to really make your work easy, like very very easy, and this will be one of the most important functions that you can simply know about and can practice in your code. Yeah, so there are lots of things like is digit, and we can simply check that if this string is a digit or not. So we can simply write is digit Like if you just write it, then it will simply show all the strings over here and you can use according to your need. So this is how a VS Code makes your work really easy. Like you don't need to remind like all the strings. So you can simply write is over here and it simply shows all the string like is decimal, is alpha, is digit. So I was talking about is digit, and here I need to simply write a is digit, and here we need to simply do one thing and we'll simply print output. Yeah, so we'll check that if this string is a digit or not. So for an example, if I'll write 23 over here and we'll print this, we'll get a true because this is a digit. So through this is digit function we can check that if a string that stored in a variable is a digit or not. So just write is and you will get all the different functions that you can use in your programming language. Now let's move forward. So I have covered most of the important things that we need to learn in the strings, but as we move forward and when we move to the different programmings, I will teach you how to use these strings in if else. Now let's move to the one of the most important topic of this programming language, which is if else. I think so 90% when you are writing a code in the Python, if else is one of the most important conditioning code that we usually use when we write a Python programming language. So here it is done. Now let's move to the our Python if else. So we can use a Python conditions and if statements. So here you can see that how to use a if else, and let me show you one case. Like for an example, a is equals to 33 and b is equals to 200, and we'll simply check that if 200 is greater than 33, so it will simply print like yes. So here you can see that it will first check like if this statement will be true, then we'll print this. Otherwise, if this statement will be false, then we can't get anything in a print, because the print function won't work because this statement is not true. Yeah, so for an example, let me do one thing. Like I will simply write 20 and will write b is equals to 10. Yeah, so let's change it up to integer, not let check in a string, and we'll simply write now if statement and we'll check that if a is greater than b. Yeah, then we'll use colon, and if this statement will be true, then we'll move inside this statement which will be print, and we'll simply print like everything is right. Everything is right. Yeah, so now let's print this and you will see that we get a print like everything is right because this statement is true, because 20 is greater than 10, and we simply move to this everything is right. Let me simply reverse this and we'll write b is greater than a. Yeah, so this statement is true, and you will see that we will not get any output over here, and we are getting like we didn't get any output because this statement is false, so there is no chance of simply moving inside this statement. Yeah, so here it is done, and we'll simply check that through if. Now let's add one more variable like c, and we'll also keep a c is equals to 10 over here, and here I will use if, and now else if you can call as else if over here, and we'll simply check that if b is equals to c, and here we are going to print this text, not this text. Let's change the text to like else if works over here, works over here, something like this, and we'll simply print this, and here you can see that we simply get an output like else if works over here. Now let me explain you. So b is greater than a, No, because 10 is not greater than 20. So we didn't move to this statement. So now if this is false, then we'll move to like else if. So like check this case if it is true. So we'll check that 10 is equals to 10. Yes, the both the integers are same. Then we simply move inside this statement and we'll simply print this. So this is how if else work, and it's keep on checking like if this statement is false, then check this statement, and if this statement is true, then it simply print this statement. Here I've wrote a d variable over here and we have passed an integer 10 over here. Now let's pass an else. So we'll write else and we'll simply print like nothing works. Now let me know what output we will get over here in the comment box. I am waiting to see like how much number of viewers are going to write a correct output for this statement. So for an example, if this statement is false, then the flow will move to else if, and it will simply check this case and it will simply print this output. Now you will think that it will also print like nothing works over here with this statement, then you are wrong, because it will simply print like only this statement, it won't move to this statement. So let me explain you. Like if this statement is false, then it will simply move to this statement, and if it finds that b is equals to c, yeah, it is true, then it won't move to the else statement. Yeah, so in the else we don't pass any condition, like we can't pass a condition like c equals to d, because it will simply show the error. Like if any of the statements above else is false, then it will simply show that nothing works over here. So for an example, if I will write b is greater than c, then what output we will get? If you think we'll get an output like nothing works over here, then you are right. Yeah, because both the statement are false now, and it will simply print like nothing works, and it simply move like if any of the statement above else is false, then else will execute a function that he has. I think so this was a much easier way I can explain. And still you have a question or anything, let me know in the comment box. And this is how if else works, and this is one of the most exciting thing to use if else, because through the if else your programming language can be like very exciting and you will really love to code. Yeah, so I find that if else is one of the most important and like most enjoyable condition that we use in this language. So here it is done. Now let's move with a while loop. So in the while loop, here you can see that a while loop is something that simply work in a loop, because its word says that while loop. So if you think that a word named loop over here, so the loop is something that keep on running in a loop like again and again until it is completely done. Yeah, so first I'm going to write a variable I and will store a value 1 over here. Now I'm going to use a while loop over here, and in the while I will simply pass a condition like I should be less than 6. So if this statement will be true, then we need to simply print I, and we'll write print I, and will simply increase the value of I by 1. So we'll write I is equals to I plus 1, something like this. And so here the output we will get is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's check the output first. Yeah, so here it is, and we have get our output like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is how the while loop works over here, and let me explain you how it works. So for an example, in the variable I we have passed an integer 1. So in the while loop, as you can see, I am telling while loop, so keep on mind, it is a loop. So it going to work again and again until this statement is true, until this statement is false, sorry, until this statement is false. So if this statement will be false, then while loop will be not work and it will simply close the code. Yeah, so 1 is less than 6, yes, so we get an print I, and here I get a first print, I mean the first output, which is I, and now we have increased the value I to 2. So here 2, and now again 2 will go over here. So 2 will go over here and we'll check that if 2 is less than 6, yeah, true. So here we print 2. Now again it will increase a value to 3. So now it will again work over here. So this is how you can see a loop works, like in the form of cycle, and how the while loop simply check one by one, and here we'll pass 3, 3 is less than 6, then we get 3, again increase the value to 4, 4 and 5, now 5. So here once it print 5 and it increase the value to 6, then again the condition pass over here and we'll check that if 6 is less than 6, so it is completely false, then while loop will close over here and it will simply show this output over here. So this is how a while loop works, and it is in the form of loop, and this how you can simply print a numbers by using a while loop. Now here I will show one more thing to you, like we have passed this one statement over here, but we can also use and or. I think so you can remind why I'm telling and or over here. So I will write or here and will write I should be less than 10. Yeah, so I have passed this two statement now with an or. So let me know what the output is. If you are thinking that the output will be up to 9, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, then you are right, because let's print the output first. And here you can see the output. So by adding simple one statement, I can simply increase the while loop size up to 9. So it simply add this 4 statement, because our if the I is 6, then it is false, right? Then it will check that if this is true. So yeah, 6 is less than 10, then it will again going to work until I is equals to 10. So if I will be 10, then 10 is less than 6, no. 10 is less than 10, no. So if both the statement will be false, then while loop will be closed. Yeah. Now for an example, if I will pass and over here, so let me know the output. If you are thinking that it will print up to 5, then you are correct. Yeah, so here you can see that we had got the output up to 5, because and simply says that this statement should also be true and this statement should also be true. So if 6 is less than 6, so if this is false and this is true, then it won't work, because the and statement simply says that if both the statement will be true, then move inside, otherwise simply close this loop. So this is a difference of and or in the while loop. So now let's move and we'll practice some of the questions related to the things that we have learned on this part. So here you can see that I have wrote these two questions related to the part, or you can say the functions that we have learned in our today's video. So first one is like write a program. It is a write a program. I have wrote it in the short form. So write a program to check if a number entered by the user is odd or even. So here we need to check that, like if the number entered by the user is odd or even. So let's take an variable over here. So for an example, I will take one variable named num over here, and I will store one value which will be 10. Yeah, now I'm going to check that if this value is 10, I mean 10 that we have stored in the num variable is even or not. So let me show you how to do that. So for an example, so for now we are going to use a if else case in this program, because there is a condition like if this number can be odd or can be even. So this is a condition statement, so that's why we need to use a if else. So we'll write if the number, so we'll use num variable and we'll use a module sign, and we'll write num module 2 is equals to 0. It means that, for an example, if there is 10, then the 10 will be passed to the num and 10 module 2. So let me explain you why I've used a module rather than a divide. So let me explain you what is module and what really divide is. So when you use a module, so for an example, if 2 is divided by an 11, so the divide will give this result like the number through which they have divide. You can say a quotient. So the divide will give us a quotient, but module help us to give a reminder like the thing that have been left after dividing that number. Yeah, so here it is clear why I've used a module. So the module will tell us that the number 2 is completely divide the number that we have passed over here. So for an example, if I passed 10, it will be simply passed over here, and 10 module 2. So 2 10 module 2 will not give the result 5 because we have passed module. So the module will say that yes, 10 is completely divided by the 2, and it will show the result 0. So once we get a result, or you can say a reminder 0, will simply print like, what we are going to print is that we are going to print like it is an even number. It is an even number. Yeah, so here it is, and if that number is not divided by the 2, then we are going to simply else, and will show the case like print, and will simply print like it is an odd number. So we'll write it is an odd number, something like this. So now let's test it. I have passed the number 10 over here, and will pass and will check that. So here you can see the result, it is an even number. So here you can see that it is running brilliantly, and 10 is an even number. Now let's pass the odd number over here, for an example 9, and let's run the code again. So it is an odd number. So you can see that how our program is working, and just through the if else condition we can check that if the number is even or an odd. Yeah, now let's move to our second code, the second programming. Here I have write a program to display the multiplication up to 10. So here I need to show the multiplication of an digit or a number up to 10. Yeah, so here I am going to use a while loop because I want to use a loop condition over here so that I can show all the multiplications of that number up to 10. For an example, if I take a digit like 5, then I can show 5 ones are 5, 5 twos are 10, 5 threes are 15, 5 fours are 20, and so on. Yeah, up to 10. So to handle this, I will simply create one variable, and let's keep the 5 on this variable name num, and now I'm going to use a while loop. Now in this while loop, I will also use one more case which will be I, and will tell the I is equals to 1. So I will simply keep a count that we need to go up to 10, and simply close this while loop. So we'll write like I should be less than or equals to 10. Yeah, so if this condition will be true, we'll directly go inside the while loop, and now I will simply print what I'm going to print like a number. So we'll write num, and we'll use a multiplication because I want to show the multiplication, and we'll write I, something like this. Now Once it is done, we have shown the multiplication with 1, then we'll need to simply increase the value of I. So we'll write I is equals to I plus 1, something like this. Yeah. So now what going to happen is that, so let me show the output first to you. So let run this, and you can see that it shows a multiplication of 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50 up to 10. So our program works brilliantly. So let me explain you. So you already know that this is works like should be less than or equals to. So there is a two case, less than or equals to. So it going to work up to 10, and when the I will be 11, this while loop will be simply close and it won't print the multiplication from 10. Yeah. So here it is done, and through the while loop we can simply print a number. So you can see that how easy that I have made to you all to understand the Python programming. And now you can simply further code by using if else condition and a while loop. Yeah. So this is it from this video. On our next part, I'm going to teach you a for loop, and there are some more exciting function that we are going to learn in this Python. So do not miss out on any of the parts that I upload on this series. So hit that subscribe button so that you won't miss out on any of the upcoming videos we upload on this channel, and hit that like button so that you can show your support by hitting that like button. Until then, keep coding, keep having fun. I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.